Spiderman, Spiderman, does whatever a Spiderman does, but something flies through the sky, and watch out, Spiderman. That's how it goes, right? So we just watched Spider-Man: Far From Home, and yeah, it was a pretty fun time at the movies. You know,
Yeah.
I can see why they wanted to just make sure that this movie got in, at the beginning of the week, so everyone can see it as much as possible. Because what a great follow-up from Endgame, huh?
It is. It really is. You know, I think any other movie would kind of feel weird, but this definitely gave a good transition into what might be coming up next for the franchise.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of things following up Endgame, obviously one of the big points of the movie is the connection to Tony Stark. That's
Yes.
totally embraced.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think this movie really did a lot of things right. So
Yes.
why don't we talk about the things that this movie did right?
Yeah.
All right, you got one, I got one. We got a slight negative, and then we got a follow-up to the negative.
Yes.
Let's break it down.
Yeah. Why don't you go first?
All right, so one of the things I loved about this movie is the fact that it embraces Peter Parker's intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the Spider-Man movies up until this point haven't really honed that in completely. And I felt like this one fully embraced it. And it's for multiple reasons, given the villain and the way the villainy works, the powers or whatever, if you want to call them that. And he has to use his intelligence and his brain to adapt to the situation. So many times you see this, and not only him gearing up for the fight, but also during the fight. And that was appreciated, especially by me, because I need to see new things in a Spider-Man movie, and I feel like that was definitely a new thing for this movie.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing about Spider-Man as a hero has always been his ability to adapt. You know, you don't really see that in many of the movies that we've seen. You see it like a little bit, but not to the extent that you get in this, where it's dire moments, and you really just have to think of things on the spot, and he really does that. And
it's kind of like that mix between like panic mode, but also like that ability for him to just totally use that to his advantage, because he's a fast thinker. That's what really makes him Spider-Man. It's not the webs, it's not the jumping and the sticking, it's the quirkiness, the personality, and the intelligence, in my opinion.
Yes.
So, what was your big win for this movie?
Alright, for those that are comic book aficionados, know things about the universe outside of what we've seen from the movies, you know what I'm about to talk about. But for those that don't, you may want to skip ahead just a little bit, because I'm going to go into a bit of a plot twist. But
it's not really a plot twist.
Yeah, but it's one that you see coming if you know the background. Okay. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio.
Yeah.
Alright, this could easily be a very quirky villain. And one that could just be like, I'm Mysterio, you cannot beat me, like some stupid
You're trapped in a globe.
Yeah. But bringing Jake Gyllenhaal into this character and really making this person be like super deranged as far as, thinking that he is in the right sense, that if he is out on top, then he will be able to show people the truth. But how do you do that when, your whole identity is about convincing others into different things? Bringing, and Jake Gyllenhaal, with his background of like Donnie Darko and Nightcrawler, those kind of characters, he really blends together into this and makes this character so terrifying in a sense, because this man will do anything to get his results.
You know? And this is a really cool thing that they've done as also a follow-up to what you're highlighting here, is for those of you that are, familiar with the previous Spider-Man movie, that villain's motivations were very much molded because of the mistakes of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You could say.
Yeah.
That is also somewhat embraced in this movie. I will not say how or why, but it connects as a great through line, especially right after Tony Stark's exiting from, this world. So I think that's like really cool that they also managed to like fit Mysterio's personal idea of justice because of Tony Stark. Yeah, again, it's just a really cool thing that they're doing. They really make it fit.
Yeah, and I think it also goes along the lines of people wanting villains that they can somewhat understand and relate to. The ability to have that kind of gray fine line between what is it they're doing is wrong and trying to determine exactly what that is. Being able to see a ordinary man that you can compare yourself to, and being able to understand like the differences of like why that's wrong and.
But also, he's still totally a narcissist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, really good stuff there for sure, man. Okay. Slight bad, I guess?
Yeah. Pacing.
Yeah, pacing.
I can totally understand people being like, oh, the first half was stupid, because you definitely do get a sense of like, where like the second half is like all like in your face, bam, all this is happening. But we do have a counterpoint.
Yeah. The greatest thing about this movie is the fact that even in its slower segment where, like our friend Cody said, coming out of the film, I'm watching a movie. It's very traditional. It's very like cliche, if you will, maybe. But the high school and like slice of life for Peter Parker is what kind of helps you get through it. So I feel like it's only a slight negative, a very, very minuscule deterrence to like an otherwise very fun movie.
Yeah. It relates, it goes back to the things that you kind of get in Homecoming where, you get like showing assemblies, showing like the daily morning videos.
And the blip. The explanation of the blip, how that affected people and what happened after they came back was perfect.
Oh yeah.
Excellently well done. Oh my god, great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
and so you do get a little bit of that like odd, people trying to get back situated into their lives, and so it does get a little bit slow at first, but it's a good setup.
Yeah.
Well,
and like this, the only thing that I have too against it for the pacing is that like also the movie's humor for a little while kind of relies on two woefully inept, what are we calling them? They're not like, were they teachers, did they say, or were they like dads?
No, they're teachers.
Oh, they are teachers.
Yeah.
Woefully inept teachers.
Yeah.
Like trying to get like all of the children together,
Yeah.
And it's like kind of funny, but also after a while you get a little over it.
Yeah.
I found out. Yeah.
But I do feel like having those actors as the teachers does kind of make it a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, bottom line though, where do you come off after this movie? Where would you put this in the ratio overall?
Yeah. This is hard because as far as Marvel movies go and how they've taken it to great lengths, I don't think it necessarily does that, but its content is there and it's solid, and I really appreciate that because it really is able to take a look at what we've already done and what we can do. So, and especially coming off of Endgame, that's a hard feat. So I'd probably have to put this at like, I want to say 9, but I'll probably have to say 8.
Okay, I totally hear what you're saying. Your reasons are the same for mine, essentially. But, I really do want to stress, I thought this was a fun Spider-Man movie. And when Spider-Man's fun,
Yeah.
he's having a good time. There's a good villain in his rogue galleries that you get.
True.
Jake Gyllenhaal, big plus.
Ooh.
The fact that Zendaya continues to be really good as MJ, a new, interesting MJ.
Yeah.
All of these kind of little things really put it on a great pedestal of Spider-Man movies. And for that fact alone, I think I'm giving it a 9. I feel confident with the 9, and I'm going 9 out of 10.
No, you say that, I'm going 9.
There we go. Dude, Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Oh.
Yeah. And he's intelligent. I'm so happy about that.
They do
He's
embrace
science.
they do embrace a bit of like we said earlier, the video game, and kind of taking the real inept attitude of Peter Parker and just putting that on display.
And cameos. Wait for the end.
Yes.
Credits. Don't leave.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Watch till the very end. There's a lot of content in the post credits.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss out on it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So run. Do not walk to your theaters to go see this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great time. And stay tuned here for more on the channel. And go watch what's worthy, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Man. Woo-hoo.